Welcome to the webinar, HITRUST Products and Services Directory, your new go-to resource for security and compliance solutions. I am Jessica Brown, and I will be your moderator today. I'd like to now introduce our panelists, Daniel Cooper, Senior Director of Strategic Programs at HITRUST, and Michael Moore, Senior Manager of Digital Innovation at HITRUST. I'll now turn it over to you, Daniel, to get us started.
Thanks, Jessica. I'm excited to have everybody on today to join us for our first customer webinar about the HITRUST Product and Services Directory. In today's webinar, you'll learn a little bit more about what this program entails and how to use the directory to help achieve some of your goals in security, privacy, risk management, compliance, and AI. So the HITRUST Product and Service Directory, what is it? It's HITRUST's answer to helping our customers connect directly to product and service providers who can help in your compliance journey. Whether that's with HITRUST or the other 40+ authoritative sources that we map to, we've now created a direct link to be able to access product and services to help you on that journey. And it's accessible today at hitrustdirectory.com. I'll turn it over to Michael.
Thanks, Daniel. So HITRUST PSD, Product Service Directory, was designed to answer some questions that we hear often. So one is, I know we need to be compliant with a regulation or a standard that's coming out, but I'm not sure what to buy or who to bring in to help us get there. Or maybe you've been a user of a software for a while and you know that it can do more than what it's being used for right now. What else does that vendor say it can help cover as maybe under GDPR or HIPAA or HITRUST CSF? Or maybe we failed a part of a HITRUST assessment and now we have caps and gaps that we need to address. What products exist and what maturity levels do they cover that I can implement to help solve this problem? So we're going to see a quick video of what this looks like live as a searcher. So I'm going to come here to explore the directory. On the left-hand side, I can see the various domains of the HITRUST CSF. I can scroll down and I can see the providers that are in the HITRUST PSD. I can also navigate across sources that the HITRUST CSF maps to. So in this case, I'm going to pull up the NIST CSF, and you'll see that the domains are replaced with our NIST CSF domains. I can click through those as well, and it filters my results on the right-hand side to products that are mapped to those domains within NIST CSF. Going back to HITRUST CSF, I'm going to scroll down, and I'm going to filter for just Cloudticity's products. And now I'm looking at all the products within HITRUST PSD provided by Cloudticity. I can also search by text. So this looks through the descriptions provided by the vendors. It looks through mappings that are made to various elements within the system and helps find products that it thinks would map well to that text. So I did insider threats, natural penetration test. Found some products there. I can also search by my BUIDs or baseline unique IDs from the HITRUST CSF to get products that are mapped directly to those BUIDs. I'm going to go ahead and look at Hyperproof's posting for their GRC service and product. Here I'm looking at information provided by Hyperproof. So all their descriptions of what they offer from their Hyperproof GRC solution. And at the bottom, I'm seeing all the mappings for this product. So I can click the show requirement text to see the full requirement statement text here in the UI. I can also see in that second column the rationale for why Hyperproof believes that they cover that requirement. I can flip through the different sources. I'm going to look at security rule. And here I can see the text provided by HIPAA security rule in the rationale that carries over from our mappings. Going back to the search page, I'm going to look for something that implements de-identification. Or sorry, data loss prevention. So I'm searching for data loss prevention, and I find that Microsoft has a product right there in their Purview suite, and it covers the implemented maturity level. Inside here, I see that Microsoft provided some screenshots and some links. We'll look at that here in a little bit. But down at the bottom, I can see the mappings to where everything is covered, the rationale is provided. I can increase the page size so I can see more on that page for the mappings. And I can view the screenshots that are provided by Microsoft for this product. All right, I'm going to hand it back over to Daniel.
Thanks, Michael. So let's talk a little bit about how this works. It works based off the HITRUST CSF. So providers, we've got an example here of Tech Diamond, an example product provider. They list their product and services in the HITRUST Product and Services Directory. On the back end, what we're doing is we're helping that provider map their capabilities of their product or service directly to the HITRUST framework. We do this in several ways, one of which is our new Gen AI assisted tool. Whenever we do this, what it allows us to do is crosswalk that mapping to the 4 dozen plus authoritative sources that are available against privacy, cybersecurity, IT risk management, IT compliance, and AI. So perhaps you're a customer and you're kind of looking at HITRUST and you're wondering which product and services can help you on that journey. Or maybe you're bound by one of the other 4 plus dozen authoritative sources that are out there that map against the HITRUST framework. You can navigate this directory and find those solutions or products to help you on that journey. Some key points about the product and services directory: it is a directory. It's not a marketplace, meaning that there's no transactions that are handled on the site today. It's a free offering, a free listing for our customers to use, a free tool, if you will. Use it just like you would a phone book. Think about it like an IT compliance phone book on the web. So you can use this again to find solutions and services to help you. This does not guarantee that you'll be able to pass any of those compliance frameworks or standards that are available in the directory, nor does it obviously grant you guaranteed access to a HITRUST certification. It's simply a tool used to identify services to help you on that journey.
And I'm going to show a quick example of finding a provider and looking at their products. So maybe I'm already familiar with HITRUST and I use some HITRUST services or products. I'm going to scroll down here in a second. I'm going to filter for just HITRUST on the provider filter. And maybe I'm familiar with the HITRUST CSF and my CSF, but maybe HACS, the assessment exchange, is a new product for me. And I want to see what that can help me with. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that product. I'm going to start looking at the mappings to understand how it can help me meet my compliance needs. So I'm going to go ahead and show the requirement text so I can understand what those elements are referring to. And then I'm going to look at what it's asking for. It's talking about the identification of risks. And then I'm going to look at the rationale provided by HITRUST and see, is this rationale responsive to the requirement statement? And if I believe it is, then I can, at the top of the page, click the button to reach out and get more information about this product. Oh, sorry. There we go.
The HITRUST directory gets even better if you're logged in as a searcher. So anybody can go in there today and see any of the product and services that are available. If you actually decide to sign up and create an account, what you'll see is the actual requirement statements themselves based on the authoritative search. So what you're seeing now is what it would look like if you were not logged in or didn't have an account created. You could still see the offering from the provider. You just couldn't see the actual elements that are listed below. What's also nice about this is it unlocks another feature, which we call the Navigator, which Michael will talk about now.
Great, so I'm going to give an overview of what the Navigator looks like and how it works. Essentially, the Navigator is a view inside PSD that allows you to view the authoritative source first and then look at products that are mapped to it. So in this case, I'm going to be looking at the HIPAA privacy rule. And I'm looking for a product that covers the implementation of data de-identification for PHI. I'm going to click on View in Navigator. And very similar to the prior screen, I can select my various sources on the left-hand side. So I'm going to filter down for HIPAA privacy. You'll see on the left-hand side, the domains from the HITRUST CSF will be replaced with the sections from HIPAA. And I'm going to go into the de-identification section and subsection. So I'm looking at the text here and I see there's de-identified. I could also do the text search up top to also get here. And I'm going to look for products that cover the implementation. So it looks like this Azure Health Data Services de-identification service covers that maturity level for that element. And I can go down to the mapping and review in detail the rationale and other elements that are also covered within that source for that product. I'm going to head back to Daniel to discuss how to access the HITRUST directory.
Thanks, Michael. So the HITRUST Product and Services Directory is accessible today, like I mentioned before. You can go to hitrustdirectory.com right now to view solutions and services that are available. We're also going to be including this in several different places amongst the HITRUST assets. So you'll start to see this pop up in your portal in MyCSF. We've also been discussing it on our social platforms as well as our Trust Versus podcast. And there's some new things that will be incorporated into this, as well as our shared responsibility matrix, which Michael will cover in a second, as well as some of our CAP reports. We've already talked about this product and services directory to our external assessor community, so they're well aware. They're using this tool to not only find solutions to help our customers, but also listing their own services that are an extension of what they do with HITRUST today. So lots of different places to find the HITRUST product and services directory as we continue to talk about this over the next several months.
Great, thank you, Daniel. Here's an example of that integration that we have with MyCSF. So in this example, we've been working on an assessment. We find out that we're not fully compliant, and we now have a gap and a cap related to this particular requirement. From here, now we have a link in MyCSF that takes you directly to PSD for that particular requirement that you're working on. So this is on 001.0. This is the CVID. I'm going to go ahead and run it. I click that button, and it takes me directly to PSD and shows me products that are mapped to that CVID. Similarly, on the references page in MyCSF, we now have a link for every single one of the versions inside the library view inside MyCSF. So if you ever have a question on, okay, well, what kind of coverage does this control have as far as products and services, you can come here and click that, and it shows you what people have mapped to. We've also added it to our shared responsibility matrices that are published. We're now on all of the cross-version ID values inside those cells. You can now click on those, and it'll pop open the browser and take you to the products that are mapped to that control. I'll hand it back to Daniel for closing comments.
Yeah, thanks, Michael. So lastly, one thing I wanted to mention again is this is free to use as a searcher. Anybody can visit the hitrustdirectory.com. There's no cost associated with viewing the products and services that are available. If you have questions about a provider's listing, you could, of course, reach out to the provider. You can also reach out to myself or Michael, and we'll be happy to put you in touch with someone from that provider. I saw a question pop up in the chat related to being listed in the directory. So providers themselves, they've opted into a pilot program to start, and they'll be paying for the ability to publish their listings and also have support from HITRUST in terms of their mappings in the directory. If there's any other questions, we're happy to answer them or take them now. Otherwise, thank you guys for attending the directory, and we look forward to talking about this more.